My name is Reena Takamora, and I'm an occupational therapist at Painted Brain. I oversee and implement the occupational therapy programming, and I also supervise our OT fieldwork students. So we do a variety of different programming. We offer individual and group therapeutic services, both in person and online. We work in a variety of settings, from out in the community to at treatment centers at different mental health organizations throughout Los Angeles and in the surrounding communities as well. We also work with individuals of all ages, so from young children to transition age youth to older adults, and also individuals facing barriers to re-entry into the community. Yeah, so I think there's a lot that OT can do for mental health. First of all, we're kind of a really underutilized profession in this setting, but I think that there is so much that we can offer. One being that we really look at the whole person. We kind of take on this, it's called like a Peo model, but person, environment, occupation. So we look at who the person is in the most like holistic sense. We look at their environment, kind of what environment are they in, and then also the occupation component. So what is occupying their time? What are these meaningful activities that they are either engaging in or not engaging in due to their mental health? And I think we really take that holistic approach and we put the client first, and we take that really person-centered approach where we are not focused on the diagnosis itself. We're not looking at a person based on their diagnosis or these symptoms. We're just looking at who they are and what they're doing. And we don't try to pathologize, and we don't try to diagnose them. And we really just look at, what are they doing? What are these barriers that they might be facing? How can we help them occupy their time in a more meaningful and health promoting way so that can support their overall mental but also physical health? I think, and then going off of that with the environmental component, right? We really look at how a person's surroundings can impact themselves. And so as OTs, we have a really good understanding of the environmental impacts and also in one individual's sensory processing patterns and preferences and how both of those play in on each other. And so if a person is, really dysregulated or stressed or anxious, right, instead of just, telling them to relax or, trying to take more cognitive approaches to self-regulation, we can look at how can we structure their environment so that it's a more supportive and more calming place. How can we utilize their sensory preferences and maybe, use like a weighted vest or a weighted blanket, or have them squeeze a stress ball or smell different, essential oils. We really use the sensory system, and we help them figure out these different techniques and different strategies to approach self-regulation and manage their emotions. Because of the impact that I believe that OT can have in mental health, also the fact that we're underutilized, that kind of piqued my interest in, or kind of emphasized my desire to work in this setting. Also personally, mental health wasn't something that was really talked about a lot, or it wasn't something that was very prevalent kind of growing up, and it wasn't something that was openly communicated. And I think there is still a lot of stigma and misunderstanding around mental health diagnoses, but also just mental health in the community. And so that not being that open to it or aware of it growing up, and also realizing that me myself, there's like some struggles with mental health that I've experienced, and I've also had close family and friends also struggle with mental health, and I've lost a couple friends to suicide. And so kind of the combination of like the impact that we could have, but also the personal experiences kind of in my life really made this a place of passion and desire to contribute to the community in this way, and kind of give back into this area. A lot of what we do with clients is helping them be able to kind of self-regulate so that they can then better engage in these meaningful occupations, and also then occupy their time in a way that's supportive and health promoting. And so to do this, there's different tools and different strategies that we utilize with our clients. And so something might be using like a weighted animal or anything, weighted to provide some sensory input, that deep pressure, which can be very calming and regulating to somebody. So like holding it, putting it on their lap, putting it on their shoulder. This could help someone regulate, better regulate, so that they can then focus or engage in whatever they want to do. Another strategy would be using essential oils. Sometimes these can be either alerting or calming, and so utilizing different scents in a way that can either alert somebody if they need more input to then engage, or if they need something more calming and relaxing to help reduce anxiety, manage their emotions, so that they can then also engage in an occupation. We also do different sensory activities kind of in session. So a lot of what we do is a lot of like tangible and practical things. So working on things in the session, not just talking about stuff. I mean, we do a lot of education and kind of planning and talking, but there is that component of actual work in the session. So playing with different, sensory, like tactile senses, making a stress ball, putting essential oils in a stress ball, so that they can then use it later on to help calm them down or regulate. There's also a assessment that we sometimes will conduct. And so this is the sensory profile, and it helps us get a better understanding of a client's sensory preferences and patterns, so that we can then know, okay, if this person, is really sensory seeking, where, they seek out a lot of input, that'll give us insight into recommending activities that they can do to help them meet those sensory needs, and then better be able to regulate and engage in their daily activities.